Good morning. Today is Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. So please listen to the opening of our Torah portion, the Parsha VaEira, and the disconnect between what Moshe says to the Jewish people and what they respond to him. Vayedaber Elokim el Moshe, God says to Moshe, and God is going to say in a moment, tell this to the Jewish people. Ani Hashem, I am God. I appeared to Avram, to Yitzchak, to Yaakov, and I made a promise with them. L'seis lem es Eretz Canaan. I made a promise, a covenant, an agreement that their descendants would inherit the land of Canaan, meaning the land of Israel. And also I hear the cries of the Jewish people in Egypt who were being persecuted in slavery. And hearing their cries and their persecution and their pain, I remember my promise to Avram and to Yitzchak and Yaakov. And therefore I want you to go and tell the Jewish people the following message. Ani Hashem, I am God. I'm going to take you out of the persecution of Egypt, right? This is a very famous passage. We read this at the Haggadah on Pesach. I'm going to save you from the terrible burden of your work. I will redeem you with an outstretched arm, ubishvatim gedolim, and with great miracles. I will take you to me as a people, and I will be for you a God, the God, vidatem, and you will know. That I, God, am taking you out of the persecution of Egypt. And I will take you, this is the line we don't read in the Haggadah, but this is the next line. Then I will take you to the land of Israel that I promised to give to Avram and Yitzchak and Yaakov. I will give it to you, Morasha, as an inheritance, Ani Hashem. I am God. That is an incredible, detailed message of exactly what God is going to do, step by step. Vayedaber Moshe kein el bnei Yisrael, and so Moshe faithfully repeated this to the Jewish people, everything that God said, every detail, step by step, what God is going to do. V'lo sham'u el Moshe, but they did not hear Moshe speak. They couldn't hear, they couldn't absorb. Mikotzer ruach, from their narrow spirit, u'me'avoda kasha, and from the hard work. We've talked about this passage before, but there's an incredible woman. Her name is Mrs. Negroshku. She's the principal of the Yeshiva University High School for Girls. And she points out that it's striking, and it's actually difficult to read about this gaping chasm between the vision and the promises that God has for the Jewish people and the depth of despair that the Jewish people, apparently they're not even capable of envisioning a reality different than the suffering that they're undergoing at that moment. For the first 9 psukim that I read to you, we have a vision with grand promises and with great specificity about the stages of redemption. You remember earlier in the Torah, Moshe worried and said to Hashem, but they're not going to believe me. But this is even worse. This is not even Moshe, we don't believe it's true. V'lo sham'u el Moshe. They didn't hear him. They couldn't absorb the words that he was saying. Let me tell you a story of another principal, this of a boys' Jewish school. So this principal, he would see boys coming back from recess, and of course recess, they're running around, they're playing, and they would come back in and they would look kind of sloppy. The shirts would be untucked, and this principal, it bothered him. He didn't want them coming back into class looking sloppy, and so in order to maintain what he felt was the proper atmosphere in the school, he made a rule. The rule was, when you come back in after recess, you have to have your shirt tucked in. Okay. And the principal spoke to the boys in the school about this and said it's very, very important, and we're going to take this seriously. And any boy who breaks this rule and comes back into school with an untucked shirt is going to be punished. So one day, the principal sees a boy who was usually a good student, and he's walking in the hallway, and his shirt is untucked. The principal stopped him and said to him, "Are you aware that your shirt is untucked?" And the boy said yes. And the principal said, "Do you remember that there's a rule that you must tuck in your shirt when you come back in from recess?" And the boy says yes. "And are you aware that if you break the rule, you will receive a consequence, a punishment?" And the student says yes. And the principal paused for a moment and understood that there was some deeper problem. And he bent down and he lowered his voice. And he said, "Okay, so tell me, what's bothering you? Let's go sit down. Explain it to me." They couldn't hear. They didn't hear because of what was bothering them. How do we understand this gap? How do we understand that Hashem can say something that is so magnificent, so detailed, so important, a change not only in their lives, a change not only in the history of the Jewish people, but a change in world history that reverberates to this day? And the reality of the Jewish people that couldn't even hear the message. Mikotzer ruach, because of their limited spirit, because they were no longer able to dream. They were no longer able to see a future horizon. They were in survival mode every moment. I just have to stay alive. I need all of my mental energy, my physical energy, my mental energy, just to face the day. I don't have anything left to look at a horizon, to dream. The ability to hear, the ability to imagine, to believe in a future that is so radically different and beyond the experiences of the present, it requires us to be able to somehow get beyond the pressure of the moment, of the immediate. Somehow to be able to pause, to reflect, to take a deep breath, to listen. So obviously, within the context of the persecution and the slavery in Egypt, and if you take something like the horrors of the Holocaust, God forbid, Or, sadly, tragically, in our own day, what's happened October 7th, it's beyond comparison to anything that we face on a daily basis. But the lesson for us is still there. It is crucial for every single one of us to cultivate an inner life, an ability to pause and to allow ourselves a moment of space and time that is not driven by the imperatives of what I have to get done today. And these moments of inner experiences, these are the portals to our dreams, our hopes. This is what nurtures our beliefs. This is what allows us to see a horizon on the future that we are striving toward. Shabbos is one perfect opportunity for this. It is a goal of Shabbos when we talk about the menucha of Shabbos, the rest of Shabbos. What we're really talking about is to take the opportunity to put down the burdens, to set aside the immediate needs, and to make room, to dream, to hope, to look beyond this day, this week, this month, to hear, to see. Prayer is such an opportunity. We've spoken about this many times. An opportunity to be able to collect ourselves, the words that we say in the Amidah, what we're asking for from God. We should be thinking to ourselves, of course, we are allowed and supposed to add whatever else we're thinking about and we want to ask for. But the order of the prayers that we have, which has us asking for specific things, that is what we should want. And those are future-oriented. In the middle of a busy, in the beginning, in the middle, at the end of a busy day, when I'm just hanging on by my fingernails just to get through the day, I have to take a moment and think to myself, T'ka b'shofar gadol l'cheirusenu. God, I'm looking forward to a future where you gather in the exiles. Uvenei Yerushalayim yecha b'racham tashuv. And I'm looking forward to a time, I don't see it right now. It doesn't appear to be today or tomorrow. But we want to see Yerushalayim fully rebuilt. And God, Shema Koleinu. We want you to accept our prayers. We don't see it today. I'm just trying to get through the day. I'm just trying to make it to nighttime to fall asleep, to start over again with the challenges of tomorrow. But I have to be able to take a moment to think to myself, what are my dreams? What are my requests beyond today and tomorrow and this week and this month and this year? What do I want from my life? What do I want out of the world? And prayer is an opportunity to take a few moments to think about that. And time with our family and time with our friends. And it could be very lighthearted. It could be a time of great enjoyment. It could be a celebration. But that also will be a refuge from the immediate. You know, if Baruch Hashem, thank God, a person is in the midst of celebrating a simcha, a great milestone in life. So for a few minutes, you're not thinking about, tomorrow I have this I have to do. But you may be thinking about, if you're at the bris of a baby, what will this baby grow up to be? What will the world be like when this baby becomes an adult? What will I be like? There's a moment, there's an opportunity to be able to look beyond, and we have to look for these opportunities. I have one more suggestion. I'm going to hold it till tomorrow night. But we have to be able to look for experiences and moments and opportunities to be able to dream, to be able to hear a message that is grandiose and incredible. And it's not today and it's not tomorrow. It's on the horizon. but I can see it, I can hear it, I can register it. We have to make that time for ourselves so that we do not face the same response of the Jewish people, Lo shamu ol Moshe. We have to be able to hear. We have to be able to believe. And we have to be able to dream. And we have specific times and opportunities and methodologies within our lives as Jews to be able to do just that. My friends, I wish you a great day, and I look forward to seeing you soon in person.